Have you noticed most of the people struggle all their lives to get a comfortable foothold? Have you noticed most of the people spend their time thinking, giving their effort into earning, but they end up at the end of the day, which means when they turn 60, 70, etc., being still poor, struggling to meet the ends. My question is, why does it happen? Why even spending 30, 40 years of working life, people are not happy, people are not comfortable, people cannot say, I can pursue my dream today because I am retired, or I have enough that I can leave a legacy after my children. Question is, why do people struggle all their lives even though they sincerely have put up their best efforts during their school days, during their college days, and during their working life? They sincerely worked hard, yet they could not make it. Why? Why is this like this? We must delve into the reasons that leads into this, beginning with poor mindset. If we want to inculcate rich mindset, we must begin with understanding the poor mindset. Poor people look for freebies, doles out. What is freebies? What is doles out? You are getting something free without working or without producing or without giving anything from somebody. Plainly speaking, it is beggar's arm. Just somebody is throwing a little bit of money at you. That kind of mindset that I shall get it out of no effort. Government will give me certain amount of money, certain amount of food, certain amount of clothing, certain amount of roof on top of my head, etc., etc. This freebie dependent mindset is one reason why poor people remain poor, because most of their times effort are directed towards getting freebies, assessing freebies, and enjoying those amount of doles out. This is a poor mindset, because they would look at only freebies wheresoever they are getting free of cost. They will never look at increasing their capabilities. Plainly speaking, they would never upskill, they would never therefore increase their income, because your income increases only when you put up your individual effort. Remember, freebies, doles out are the results of kindness of a society. In Macbeth's dialogue, full of milk of kindness, as Lady Macbeth spoke about it. So, our country, especially the eastern region, India, full of milk of kindness. As a result, many people will come forward to give the alms thinking that the person is poor. This makes the poor man even poorer, because characteristically a person becomes free when he or she earns the faculty of producing on his or her own. For instance, you work hard, you upskill, you learn new things, and you practically apply it in your vocations. Result is the society will take up your services. As the society is getting benefited from your services, society will more and more give you back in the form of your fees, in the form of your wages, in the form of your salaries. This is how you earn. This, in a way, produces self-respect. Remember, freebie, beggars, arm takers are poor, but they do not have the self-respect. Because they do not have the self-respect, they always remain dependent on the society. As a result, most of these poor people you will see are dependent on prophecies, astrologers. They think some God sent help will come at the time of crisis. They do not even think of crisis coming down to them. Human lives, if you just calculate it, you will find most of the times pass through crisis, casualties, difficulties, hurdles, conflicts. Are they ready for that? They know they might face a difficulty, but they desperately depend on some God, on some spiritual help, on some astrological prophecy, on some foretelling. You will notice that kind of idleness. They are basically idle. They would not work. Is the result of poor mindset. This stops a person from becoming richer. If you want to secure your future, and if you want to secure the future of your kids, you must look at one thing: you should upskill. You should come out of freebie dole out mindset. Instead, you must inculcate self-respect. You must know that you have some capabilities. Instead of queuing up after some powerful people or some society to get some freebie, you should rather learn. Learning is most important. How you utilize your time. Learning is extremely important to train yourself so that you can produce more and more better results. So learning, earning, utilizing the time, putting up your effort towards increasing and enhancing your capabilities, which we call as upskilling, is most important. That is mindset number one, that transforms one from poor mindset into rich mindset. Point one. Point two, most of the people you will notice belonging to middle class or upper middle class remain so. Sometimes they even drop down to poor class because they earn a lot, but they do not know the second aspect of life, how to preserve it and turn it into a wealth. Most of these people lack financial education. That is the reason. And financial education begins at a very tender age. Don't forget. I have another video. If you look at it, you will come to understand what I mean. I said giving away gifting is the wrong thing. So when a person is a child, he must know how to earn, the self-respect of earning. That should be inculcated, that should be ingrained into the spirit of the person. So the person after earning should know or should have the financial education of how to preserving that amount of money. So your earning is of less importance in terms of wealth creation, your preservation is of more importance. What do? Say you have got sufficient amount of money, let us call it 12 lakh rupees per annum is your family income. Let us hold it like that. You belong to middle class. But what will you do? Obviously you will do some FD, you will go to bank and do some fixed deposit. Fixed deposit will make you poorer because your inflation will shave it off, cut it off, and your value of the money will drop, so you cannot become rich. You will go to buy some land, maybe real estate. Again, it is not within your control. Some mafia will come, some political leader will come and manipulate it in such a manner that you would not be able to come out of this. Remember and don't forget, it is India. As long as your land does not have any value, no one is going to tinker with you. The moment it skyrockets in value, for instance, there is a flyover, there is a railway track, there is a metro track, obviously you will not be in control. The local satraps, the local leaders, it's a bully market. Don't forget, it is absolutely a mafia which is operating at the backdrop. You cannot get any justice. And will you go to court? Obviously for 20 years you should brace it up, which is absolutely insane. So putting money in real estate is going to be another hazard going forward in your life, and you will get into more and more trouble. So instead of getting money, you will get more trouble. So putting money in real estate is not a big deal. Another reason is you cannot take a little chunk out of that because it's a lakhs and crores of money you have to put up into that. Obviously you have to get out of the whole thing. You cannot say I'll sell my kitchen, you cannot say I shall sell my little part which is the balcony. You have to sell the whole flat. So it means that it's a huge amount of investment. If you are making a mistake in calculating the proper price of that at the time of buying, you are making a great deal of mistake. As a result, your money will be locked for 20 years. You will become absolutely poor because we are talking about crores of rupees, because real estate is a very big investment. Again, real estate, you do not have the financial literacy, you invest it into real estate and you make lot of mistakes and lot of losses throughout the life, which you will never be able to recover. As a result, you will continue to remain poor again at the very advanced age of 60 or 70. Where will you go? Obviously you will think about mutual fund. 2%, 3% is their commission. Can you understand? For 20 years if you put up some money, with 3% it will become 12 crores. For instance, just Google it, you will come to know. If you do not have that 3% commission to be given or 2% commission, for instance, to be given, you can save as much as 5 to 6 crores. You can earn 18 crore. So this 2% is no small thing, remember. So going to mutual fund depending on somebody is again a blunder. 94% of the mutual funds could not even beat the base, which is Nifty 50. So 12%, 13% per annum CAGR at a span of 20 years or 15 years is not even possible by most of the mutual funds. So again, while you are doing mutual fund, you are making a mistake. You do not have the financial literacy, therefore you do not know how to pick a stock, how to make money and preserve it. As a result, you will notice most of the people, look around you, your father, your mother, your uncle, your sister, your relatives, your neighbors, your colleagues, everybody else is struggling day and night for 40 years, 30 years, ending up remaining still very poor. Question is, why so? Because of lack of financial literacy, which I have just now spoken of. It is another impediment that keeps you very, very poor. That is the reason you should always think about getting out of this poor mindset and turn yourself into a rich man. Rich people believe in learning, earning, action, and solution. If you look at a rich man, you will see that the rich man constantly learns. He uses the screen time, but he does not consume. He sees the Facebook, he sees the YouTube, he sees X, which is Twitter, he sees LinkedIn, he sees WhatsApp. He uses the screen time. He may see the TV, but he uses the screen time to learn something, to upskill whatsoever work he is doing. He wants to upskill himself, raise his quality, and produce better sorry, services for his clients. That is point one. Therefore, his earning also goes up. That is one more very important reason. Most of the people you will notice are talking about the problems. There is problem everywhere. Take a look. This political man is doing a lot of mistakes. He has taken a lot of wrong decisions. There is problem. My son is not good person. My daughter would not listen to me. My wife does not listen to me. There is problem. There are problems. Rich mindset never dwells on problems. They constantly are thinking about solutions. If you meet such fellow, you will come to know that he is often talking about what solution do you have, how to get out of this, because where there is a problem there must be some solution, only that I do not know, somebody else does. So he goes on with his dish antenna, you can understand, scanning to find out the person who can influence him, who can guide him through this darkness into the light. So they are people of action. Rich people are people of action. They utilize the time, put up their effort in solution. As a result, they become wealthier. So your income makes a living for you. It does not make you wealthy. Your knowledge, financial knowledge, makes you wealthy. Create an heirloom. HEIRLOOM means it's a machine that you have created. Through this, your next generations together, if you teach it to your kids will teach it to their kids, it will compound into a massive wealth. They would not have to become very afraid in life. They would not ever have to think that I must get a job, otherwise I will be nowhere. They would never think that they would remain poor unless they become first boy or first girl. You do not have to be first boy, first girl. It's a schooling only, my dear. It never matters whether you are a last boy, last girl. Do you have the communication skill? Can you speak properly? Can you write down cogently, coherently? Then your clients will be satisfied. That is the first quality. So learn English very thoroughly. That is extremely essential for communication worldwide. Remember, when you are talking to Bengalis, you are getting less amount of money as a client. When you are talking in Hindi, obviously you are pan-India, you are getting little more money. But when you are talking English, obviously the whole world is with you. Obviously your money will flow in, you will earn in dollar, spend in INR, so you will become rich. So language, rhetoric, communication is extremely important. And vocational understanding, learn vocations, learn such kind of things which is going to come going forward, because common jobs will not exist. There are other videos. Go to the playlist, go them through, surf them, see them. You are a man of learning. That's why you are still watching me. Most of the people, I'm talking about 99% people, would leave this video within a few seconds. If you are still watching me, then you do not belong to 99%. Technically you belong to 1% of rich mindset. You want to learn. So please subscribe this channel, put the notification bell on. If you are seeing it on other platforms, follow me, like and subscribe. We'll meet again very soon.